welcome to Epcot on this evening of, what day is it? I don't know. We've been in Asia for 7 weeks. I have no idea. This is how I always like shock myself back into reality here, is a food review. But Rosanna and I, freshly back from Asia, and we haven't even gotten all the vlogs and stuff out yet. There's so much still to come. But in the meantime, news calls, and that news calls at GO82, which is the 21 and older bar and lounge inside of Spaceship Earth at Epcot. And we're back, even though it only opened, when did that open? Was that a year, almost a year ago? Was it last summer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been several times. We like it.
Yeah, I love GO82.
Yeah.
A little expensive, but it's a premium product. And the service is always fantastic. The drinks are expensive, but feel worth it. They feel elevated and special.
Definitely. Space
feels elevated and special. Big fans of GO82. So they announced a new menu, and we decided, well, we have to come try that immediately. The best we could do today was at 8:20 reservation, and at 8:20, they're running a little behind, and so by the time we got set, it was almost fireworks time. Kudos to our server who, you know, we sat down and said, hey, we're here for the new items. Do you mind if we ordered the 3 drinks and all this food now before it gets crazy? And he was totally on board, super accommodating. Yeah. They are always great in there. The top
they do have the best people working there.
Cast members in food and beverage working in that location.
Yeah.
I'm always pretty amazed at the quality. But let's talk about what's new. And so we had 3 new cocktails. The first of which is the Tuscan olive oil Martini, which is Vusa, African vodka, Dolan dry vermouth, de Chambray, olive oil, tomato, and Parmesan crisp. You, being vegan, could not have the Parmesan crisp, and so I had the Parmesan crisp. So the Parmesan crisp, they put this very elevated olive oil paste on the top, or was it balsamic? What was it?
Yeah, it was. I think it was brushed with olive oil, but then they put the
balsamic on there, a balsamic paste. And then we were told what you need to do is take the tomato, which has been soaking in the alcohol, and put it across the Parmesan crisp with the balsamic, and it'll taste kind of like a pizza. And it did. It tasted like I've used the word elevated 15 times, so I'll try something different. It tasted like an artisanal pizza of sorts. It was very good. And the alcohol did come through on the tomato, and then the Parmesan crisp and the balsamic was a wonderful combination.
Yeah, was it balsamic, or was it just like olive oil that had been
It was the color
distilled?
of balsamic.
It was the color of it, but did it taste like balsamic?
He told us, but fireworks were going on, and it was very hard to hear.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it was balsamic.
Either way, it tasted like a pizza, right?
Yeah, like an artisanal pizza, yes. But then the drink, you want to talk about the drink itself?
The drink itself was, so it replaced the previous martini on the menu, which was the caramelized leek martini.
Very
and
polarizing.
That was very good, but very pungent. Like, if you don't like onions, and even if you did like onions, I think it might be too much for you.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good, but this new one tastes just like olive oil and a little bit of the vermouth. And it was delicious. It was like the savory martini, which is why I liked the leek one. It was a savory experience, but this was
way better.
Yeah,
way better. What are we giving out of 7? Out of 7 geodesic spheres, which may or may not be edited into this video because of time.
Even without the Parmesan, I would give it a 7.
I think it's a 7.
Okay, so you would still...
I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best, if not the best, cocktail on their menu.
That is what I will be getting. If I'm not getting the bourbon flight, I would be getting that. Although there's so many good cocktails at that.
It's a very good list.
Yeah.
Very good list in there. We also had the Pink Peppercorn Clover Club.
Yes.
Which is Forged Gin, Dolan Blanc Vermouth de Chambray again, raspberry, pink peppercorn, and lemon. I didn't love this. It's not my style of drink. It was very sweet. Felt very much like a lot of theme park cocktails, and I expect things in there to be better than a normal theme park cocktail, at least for me. That's how every drink I've ever had there feels, and this just felt like something I'd have at Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom. Really?
Are you serious?
Am I wrong?
No, it didn't taste like a theme park drink.
Not a theme park drink, but like a Disney resort cocktail.
Okay, but something at a restaurant or a lounge.
But one of those sweet, sticky...
It wasn't sweet and sticky.
Oh, I thought so.
It was pretty mild.
Okay. Maybe I'm just not the audience for this drink.
Maybe. I thought it was very... I thought it was very mild. It's going to appeal to a lot of people because it's just a hint of the sweetness. It doesn't taste like... I don't think it was syrupy at all.
Okay.
Oh no, there's a show going.
I didn't say syrupy, I said it's kind of sticky and sweet.
Well, that's kind of...
Oh, well, we gotta stop for Reflections of Earth. Sorry, yes, we had to stop for Tapestry of Nations and Reflections of Earth and listen to the land and all of our ancient hymns. All of our sacred musical hymns had to be admired for a moment. So what will you give the pink peppercorn?
So I think it was very crowd pleasing. It's a gin drink that doesn't taste like gin.
That's fair.
So I would, but there's nothing remarkable about it. It's just smooth.
Yeah.
Maybe a 5. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
I'll give it a 5 then. It just gave me heartburn, and it's not my type of cocktail.
Okay.
But I respect that it could be someone else's. The last of the new drinks would be the Clarified Bee's Knees, which is Bar Hill Reserve Tomcat Gin, honey, lemon, and thyme. I love this. I thought this was great. It felt like a GO82 cocktail as much as like the brown butter old fashioned and some of those. It does feel a little bit like a bourbon drink, but it has a sweetness for sure, as you would expect from something that is a bee's knees. The honey and the lemon bring out a sweetness in it that it's not unpleasant. I think it's perfectly balanced. It's a really, really solid cocktail. Easy drinking, strong but easy drinking because of the sweetness. I'm gonna go 6 out of 7. You couldn't have this because there's honey in it.
Yeah. It's also milk washed.
Oh yeah, because of the clarification process, that's right. What did that replace again?
So that one replaced one of the strawberry ones. Black pepper sour, strawberry black pepper sour, I believe.
Yeah, so that black peppercorn drink we just spoke about is kind of stepping in for that.
Yeah, because there's still the strawberry, let me see, strawberry and coconut right hand, but it's a new name. The one that was replaced, I believe, is the strawberry black pepper sour. And
How long have there been Zero Proof Walk in the Garden and Zero Proof Manhattan in the Morning?
Those have been there.
Okay, I don't remember those. I only reviewed half of GO82. Eric and Jason, I think, did the other half before me, so I missed some of it. Either way, I digress. We'll move to the small bites. Your Cannellini Hummus got a bit of a refresh. It's pumpkin seed pesto, radish, preserved lemon, Fresno peppers, and lavash. There was a bread change, a presentation change.
Yeah, so it used to be served with the papadum, but now it's with lavash, and it's vegan lavash. I mean, I love the flavor of papadum more, but the lavash, it tastes amazing, and you can actually scoop the hummus with it.
Yeah.
That was my only problem with
together,
that dish, is that you couldn't really get, you had to eat it with a fork.
You always
basically.
ended up fork eating like the remainder.
Yeah.
And this time you were actually able to get everything on the lavash.
Yeah, the papadum was too delicate to actually scoop. It's like when you get a thin tortilla chip and you're like, how am I supposed to eat this chunky salsa with the thin tortilla chip?
I think it's the best hummus dish on property.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I
love
agree
it.
with that.
I think it's fantastic.
I would get that every time.
Yeah, so highly recommend. 7 out of 7, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's a great snack. Also refreshed is the Truffled Ahi Tuna. Barrel-aged Japanese whiskey soy truffle ponzu, nori, sushi rice, daikon, and black sesame seeds. So this was a bit of a change. I don't think it's any better or worse than before. I still am not... It's really hard to come from Japan and eat sushi in America, and especially eat sushi in a theme park and be wowed by it. It's a solid entry. It's not amazing. I think it's very middle of the road. Like, the ingredients taste fresh. Maybe not the whole consistency of the thing as it would B, if you got it in its country of origin, and maybe there are definitely better sushi dishes on property, which is why I think I have to get like a 4.
Really?
Yeah, I think you can do better sushi-wise at Walt Disney World. I do. And actually in this park, in the Japan Pavilion. And last but not least is the item that is totally new for food, the small bites, the Jamón Ibérico Croquetas with tomato gazpacho, sea salt, and sorrel leaves. And so, taking a page out of the book of basically Vallejo, there are croquettes on a fake pillow.
Yeah.
That is the tradition with those. So croquettes on the fake pillow. You get 4. They are $22, but Jamón Ibérico is not cheap.
They're also like
expensive.
Thick.
They're big. It's actually a filling little appetizer, I would say. They're hefty. But the inside, I would say, they almost came across as like absolutely delicious, full loaded baked potatoes at times. But then with the salty, nicely cured Jamón Ibérico, the ham, it was a really nice combination. I think really pleasant. $22 is a lot, but they were very, very good. I think I'd give them a 7 if they weren't $22. I think I have to take them down to a 6 for value, but either way, if you're in there and you don't mind spending the money, I think they're worth a try. They're really very good. Nice crispy exterior, soft and hot on the inside, cheesy and salty, and just a perfect combination for, having your cocktail.
That's true. You need something to help you along.
You do. Especially the drinks in there are very strong. Especially
they're very
you
strong.
get that bourbon flight. Hold on.
Good luck.
When you hear the words "go for launch," you'll definitely want to hang on. That's from Mission Space. I have to say that because no one goes in there. So anyway, sadly we couldn't film in there because we got it seated so close to fireworks. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed this review.
Yeah,
If
the
you did-
format.
Yeah, I know
Hopefully
it's not what we wanted to do, but better than nothing. And I'm glad. I'm very happy that the cast members there were accommodating so we could make it all happen in a very short period of time.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, he paced it out so that we could get the last drink after the fireworks. And normally they come before fireworks start and say, is there anything else you need?
No, he was fantastic. Everyone there is.
Yeah. Go to GO82.
Yeah, I highly recommend. If you enjoyed this review, please hit that like button and subscribe for more great content just like this, and a whole lot of Asia vlogs that'll be coming out for the foreseeable future. Also, you could support us by shopping with Carousel of Products at carouselofproducts.com. You could join the Magnet of the Month program, the Pin of the Month program, and also we have 3 new button-up shirts. I don't know why I'm not wearing one today. We have a new Spaceship Earth one, in fact. Electrical Water Pageant, which is the coolest, and also I'm very excited about our Rock and Roller Coaster Tribute shirt as well. Check those all out.
We've been gone so long that that's almost reopened.
It's almost back, yeah. It is almost back. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the future. Good night.